Hi everyone, it's me Nikki here with this week's home tips, so let's jump right in. Okay, this is actually a tip that I have been doing for years. I used to work in a frame shop years ago as an art framer, and we used this all the time when we would get frames, wood frames in that had dents and nicks and things in them, and it's a way to disguise those little nicks. And a lot of times with our furniture, you'll see, especially our dark wood furniture, you will get those nicks. And a Sharpie is the great way to resolve this issue and to hide those issues. And so I use this in my home all the time with my darker woods. And again, you only want to use the Sharpie on your cherry woods or your dark woods, but it works great. This is a table that I have in my living room, and it has the little nicks in it, and I'm glad I had these nicks to be able to show you this because it works great, and I've used this for years. And so basically these little nicks here can start to make your furniture look aged and it's just not pretty, but by simply taking a Sharpie and putting a little bit of it on there, it will totally disguise all of those little nicks. And often I'll go through my house on all of my cherry woods and all of my espresso color furniture, and I would just fix those little nicks, and it's actually fun because it's making it new again. And so you simply take the Sharpie and you're going to just dot the little nicks on there, and as you can see, it totally disguises it. Now the first thing that you want to do after you put that on there is just rub it in a little bit to blend it in, but as you can see, it just makes it disappear. And it's just really a simple and easy way. You can even keep the Sharpie in your cleaning caddy so that as you're dusting and things and see little nicks, you can just pull out the Sharpie and make those little corrections, and it makes a huge difference with your furniture and your wood frames and things like that, because it does, when you have those little markings and things, it does age and make your furniture look kind of not so pretty. And so also when you're going to yard sales and estate sales and you see frames and furniture that have the nicks that may not be appealing, you'll know in your head, oh, I can just put a Sharpie on it and make it new again. So love this tip. Okay, how many families out there, you're playing your board game and it's rolling dice time and the dice just always going across the table, especially if you play with your little kids. You know how it is. You're rolling the dice and they are just throwing and slinging the dice. So when I saw this tip, I thought, this is so simple, so efficient, makes so much sense. Why have I never thought of this before? But it's simply taking a plastic container, one of your little Tupperware containers, and using that to contain your dice so that when everyone rolls, the dice stays in place. I mean, it stays contained. You know, you can still have the ability to roll your numbers, but it's in this little plastic container so that they're not flying all over the place. And you just pass it around as you go and play your game as regular. And so when I gave it a try, it worked great. The dice moved around fine, and it did keep them contained. And I said, you know what? I wish I would have known this years ago when we were playing board games with our kids, because sometimes it can take so long when you're trying to pick up and find dice. So huge thumbs up. Okay, you know how you have your recipe cards, and I only have recipe cards for my holiday recipes because I put them in my holiday planner, and so it's convenient for me. And what I typically do is I typically laminate my cards. So all of my recipe cards are laminated, which is very convenient for me because I don't have to worry about spills and things like that. So as I'm cooking, if anything spills on it, I can just wipe it down. But I saw this tip where you can basically take a candle and rub it on the top of your recipe card if it's not laminated, and it's supposedly supposed to protect the card against the spills while you're cooking and things like that. And I love alternative ways of doing things. Although I do laminate my recipe cards, I do want to know different ways to do things. So I definitely wanted to give this tip a try. And so what I did was I kind of created a faux recipe card. I just took a card and kind of wrote something on it because I just wanted to test this out, and I didn't want to test it out on a real recipe card, and all of mine are laminated anyway. And so I wrote something on a card, and I was going to just kind of take the candle and wipe down the front, because you're basically just coating the front of the card with the candle. And that's simply what I did. It was simple enough to do, but I was just a little leery about how it was going to work at this point. I did feel the wax on the top, which I didn't like feeling that waxy feeling. But then the next thing, I took some vanilla extract and I poured it on top of it to see what would happen. And, you know, immediately I could tell that it wasn't working. It went right through, and I was like not very happy with it at all. I then took a paper towel and kind of tried to dab it up to see what would happen, and it clearly went straight through the card. I don't see this as being beneficial in the kitchen at all. If you've had, if you do this and it's worked for you, please let me know in the comments, because I had no success with it. I definitely will stick with laminating my holiday recipes on my card, so I don't give this a thumbs up at all. So I hope you all have enjoyed watching this week's home tips. Definitely go to my Facebook page where I share these tips tips prior to the video during the week so that we can talk about them up into the video. I'll link that Facebook page below. I hope you all are doing great, and this is Nikki saying goodbye.